Hello everyone, back to today's third video doing the sick Christmas update for today's third video. So we're going to have your nightly rundown to see what happens for Christmas in the latest CFSV2 midday run. I'll talk you through all of that in a second. Just to say that today's first two videos are both on the homepage. We issued JMA Friday first, so that's the month ahead look ahead, taking us into the middle of December with the long-range JMA and CFSV2 models. And we also had a look at weather next week, 10 days, focusing on all of next week's possibly cold conditions and extending out into the latter part of November as well. So both of those videos are on the homepage. When you're done with this one, go off and have a watch of those. So this is your sixth Christmas update. We started these at the beginning of November. First day of the month is when we started the Christmas updates. They've been fairly sporadic since then, but they are getting more regular now. We're going to be doing them every other night from now on as we run up towards Christmas. So, once again, we're at the website metroseal.fr. We continue to look at the CFS at Metroseal for the next few weeks. Eventually, when we get to around 2 weeks before Christmas, we will abandon the CFS and we'll move over to the GFS at Weather Central. So, that'll be a couple of weeks before Christmas. Until then, like the next month, we're going to be looking at the CFSV2 9-monthly forecast at metroseal.fr. So, if you want to see these charts for yourself, you just come to Metroseal and select the CFSV2 or CFS 9-monthly forecast, and it's a midday run. We always try and use the same run all of the time, and we can't be told off for cherry picking. This is purely the way the updates are coming out as we're doing them. So this was generated at midday yesterday, 15th of November. There's always like a 24-hour delay on the charts appearing. I think that's pretty much everything I'm going to tell you about the model. So the link to Metroseal and to be able to see these charts is in the description at YouTube and also on the links page at Gav's Weather Vids. Just say that Christmas Shop is open, so if this gets you in the mood to do some Christmas shopping at Amazon, all you have to do is click the green button that says Christmas Shop just directly underneath this video. It'll take you to our Christmas Shop page, and then from there we've got an Amazon search widget, so you can search out whatever item you would like to buy. Alternatively, you just click through the Amazon banners because you're going from Gazos to Amazon, where you get a review fee on things that you are buying. So you're not doing anything differently. You're doing your shopping at Amazon as you would anyway. It's just simply the fact that you've gone from our website to their website that means we get a review fee on those Christmas presents that you are purchasing. And a big thank you to everybody for doing their Christmas shopping at Amazon via Gav's Weather Vids again this Christmas. So, without further ado, let's get on with your sick Christmas update. We're going to start on the 1st of December, and we're still in a pretty cold and block pattern here from the cold weather that we've got establishing in the next few days, actually. So we've still got high pressure up over Scandinavia. We're still bringing in the easy winds. There's some sort of disturbance there in the southern North Sea that could be producing something a little bit wintry, perhaps, in the southeast part of the country on the first day of December. Let's run through the first week of December. Staying cold and blocked, so high pressure continues to be sitting up to the north and the northeast. We've got this area of low pressure down to the south, so that could be bringing something wintry across parts of England and Wales, perhaps here on the 5th of December, because the broad pattern is one of cold and block with high pressure both over Scandinavia and to the north of the country. The mild west-southwest winds are being held at bay in the middle part of the Atlantic Ocean. Run through more of the first week of December, up to the 7th, on to the sort of 8th of December, and we're bringing this system in from off the Atlantic. Now, this is trying to introduce milder air from off the Atlantic, as it's coming up against this cold block of air that's sitting over Scandinavia, which is Central Europe, via this Scandinavian high. So this weather system could be producing more sleet and snow as it pushes across the country and into that cold air, but it is starting to drag in milder air behind it. So western parts of the country are beginning to turn just that little bit milder. Right, so we're going to a second week of December. This is what we see from the 8th through to the 9th. We don't really break the Atlantic air through, actually. So you'll notice here we are on the 10th of December, and high pressure is back over Scandinavia, dominating the weather. We're bringing in a gentle easterly wind again. So I suppose it turns a little bit milder as that incursion comes in from off the Atlantic. But really, we don't break the Atlantic through properly. So we're back into blocked conditions on the 10th. That looks dry and probably quite cold with frost and fog on the 10th of December. We begin to bring some colder air back in across western parts of Europe from the east by the 12th into the 13th. So maybe some snow showers across southern and southeastern parts of the country there as that sort of upper level cold disturbance moves across central and eventually western parts of Europe. We're up to the 13th to the 14th of December. High pressure still dominating the weather, really in control over the UK and going back up to Scandinavia as well. The coldest of the air now is to the south of us across France, bringing very wintry conditions there. But nevertheless, under this high pressure, it's cold, it's dry, it's cold, it's frosty. Could be some dense freezing fog patches as well. Daytime temperatures probably struggling to get much above freezing, and the frost will be very harsh at night. So we got to the middle of December, still under that area of high pressure, bringing dry, cold, frosty conditions. So we move into the second half of the month. Looks like that high pressure is slipping away as low pressure tries to head in from off the Atlantic. We're up to the 18th of December now. We've got low pressure in the Atlantic trying to move in. We're bringing up quite a cold southeasterly wind ahead of it as this high pressure is slipping into the east of Europe. So dry conditions maintained into the second half of December and still pretty cold. Nothing has happened really to warm up the atmosphere, so that would still be pretty cold there even into the second half of December. Let's run up towards Christmas and it starts to get quite interesting. We're up to the 20th of December. We've got low pressure developing down to our south around the Bay of Biscay, but high pressure is building over Greenland, and this is starting to turn the wind into a bitterly cold northeasterly. So it never warms up, and eventually we start to bring colder air in from the northeast as we get to the 20th to 21st of December. That will be bringing snow showers into northern and eastern parts of the country. And this low pressure across Biscay could be threatening more general snow to southern parts of the country as well. Let's get closer to Christmas. So we're up to the 22nd. Look what's going on there. We've got an area of low pressure across England and Wales. High pressure's blocking across Greenland. And we are pulling in a north to northeasterly wind here. So this would be bringing snow showers to the northern part of the country. This low pressure would probably be bringing significant snow across parts of England and Wales. So this would be disruptive weather, cold and wintry weather running up towards the Christmas period. Very, very interesting. So let's get you to Christmas now. And we go from the 22nd through to the 23rd of December. Still looking very cold. The risk of snow eases away. The isobars are opening out though, so frost would become very severe under this trough of low pressure. Probably still snow showers, but there would be a lot of dry weather too. You'd be struggling to get daytime temperatures above freezing, and nights would be very frosty with risk of severe frost. This is Christmas Eve, and it looks really cold on tonight's SICK Christmas update. There'd be widespread frost. Temperatures would be struggling to get above freezing. There would be snow on the ground from the earliest snowfalls that occur around the 20th, 21st, 22nd of December. Nothing's happened to melt that away. So cold, wintry Christmas Eve there, really seasonal. This is how Christmas Day looks on the SICK Christmas update. It looks cold. The winds are still in from the north. Probably mainly dry. Maybe a few snow showers running down the east coast, but a lot of dry weather. The main thing would be the cold temperatures. Again, I think we'd be struggling to lift those temperatures much above freezing by day. And by night, there'd be some pretty hard overnight frost as well. We would have snow on the ground from the earlier snowfalls, as nothing has happened to melt that away. And then this is how Boxing Day looks. Still looking cold, but high pressure just starting to slip a little bit to our south. So slightly milder air begin to move in around the top into northern parts of the country. Still cold and frosty for England and Wales, but perhaps turning a little bit less cold across Scotland and Northern Ireland on Boxing Day. But generally, all 3 days, just see Christmas Day and Boxing Day, looking cold on this SICK Christmas update. Beyond that, we break that high pressure down and begin to rev the Atlantic up. So here we are on the 29th of December. All of a sudden, we're into a proper Atlantic onslaught. Where did the cold weather go? We're into wet and windy conditions now. So between the end of Boxing Day and the 29th of December, big change takes place. High pressure collapses. We move the Atlantic in. It turns wet and windy as we begin to run up towards the end of the year. I'll run you into the New Year period now. So we're up to the 31st December, New Year's Eve. On the 6th Christmas update, looking very different to Christmas Eve. In 1 week, we've gone from that cold weather into an Atlantic flow, bringing westerlies in across the country, sunshine and showers, and temperatures probably quite mild. That's New Year's Day, and that's also looking relatively mild as well as these Atlantic winds advancing across the country. Got high pressure to our south, low pressure is out to the north and the west as well. And then we'll just go through the first few days of the new year. So wet and windy westerly winds are maintained as we move through the first week of 2019. Very wet and windy conditions, and then these wet and windy conditions carry on as we go into the second week of January as well. Running up towards the middle part of the month, as far as I'm going to take you, is up to the 14th, and still in an Atlantic flow, really high pressures across France, deep area of low pressures out to the northwest. So once the cold weather breaks down just after Christmas, it doesn't come back up to the middle of January. We're going to quite a prolonged spell of milder, wetter and windier weather. But this is shaping up to be a cold December if this update from the CFS V2 is correct. Probably won't be, but tonight it is showing quite a cold December, and up to Christmas and including Christmas, cold and wintry weather is dominating. Just in the final few days of the month, it turns milder, wetter and windier, and then those milder and wetter and windier conditions carry on into the new year. This is another very different update compared to all of the updates that we've done so far. So again, I don't think we can say that we have a trend. There's no particular trend showing up within the CFS at the moment. Certainly and interestingly, no protracted zonal spell through December is showing up at the moment, and that's kind of like the default setting. So you would normally expect to be getting a lot of westerly zonal Atlantic driven updates appearing, and just one or two that deviate, because zonal westerlies are the default setup. So the fact there isn't a trend for both Christmas and really for December is a little bit surprising, and possibly tells us that something is going on in the atmosphere that's a little bit different this year. I suppose you already know that for what's happened through this year. It has been a very unusual year of weather, to say the least, 2018. And looks like we've got more twists and turns going on during November as well. So you would expect, the way the atmosphere has been behaving this year, that December will probably deviate from its normal default setup, which would be westerly. And I think we are seeing that to some degree within the model output at the moment in terms of the CFS V2. So, all to be revealed, all to play for. We'll do the next update, hopefully on Sunday, but I've got a really busy day coming up on Sunday. We're going to have the 12th and penultimate winter 2018-19 update. I've got the ECMWF and Meteo France seasonal model update to do as well on Sunday. I'm going to have a live chat with Quantum talking about the cold weather. That will be between 5 and 7 on Sunday. And in between all of that, I'll hopefully get the 7th Christmas update done for you at some point. But it is going to be a very, very busy day on Sunday. Right, hope you enjoyed this 6th update. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.